Good afternoon. This speech is dedicated to those who have never heard the gospel before and to friends who have a hard time reconciling God who is love, who loves everybody, with the God who judges, who punishes. I had this moment in the Bush Student Center last March where I was sitting there thinking for the thousandth time about people. Are we fallen? Are we really that bad? Are we sinful that we deserve eternal punishment? Why would God do that? Why would God do that to Muslim girls walking by with hijabs who don't even really know who Jesus really is? Why? And at that point, I couldn't ask anymore. I just gave up. I was like, Gabriel, I don't think God wanted me to spend my entire life thinking like that. Like every time I'm talking to a Muslim person, be like in the back of my head, this person's going to hell. This person's going to hell. Because that's what happens sometimes when you care so much about sharing the gospel and you don't really have a view of God as being fair and in control. So the question was really about God himself. Let me rewind a little. Back in high school, I had a friend, let's call him Neil, say. Now Neil was he was a really challenging guy, and he would be like, oh, so Hitler's going to heaven if he repented at the last minute, but, Gandhi, what happens to him? You could do what you want, Gabriel, but if it makes you feel better, it's just for yourself, Everybody has their own truth. I'm sure you've heard people like that, And maybe some of us care a lot about this, it hurts our hearts. For some of us, it's like, it's hard to think about it. Let's just let God do what he can, and I can't do anything. I can't force my friends, right? But for me, as time went by, I started caring a lot more because I realized if I'm really loving my friends as much as I love myself, when I pray for them, it hurts. Like, it's ridiculous. How does anybody believe stuff like this? How do we pray to God about this? You think, all these friends of yours, they're headed for destruction? And at one point, I just couldn't take it. I started getting disillusioned, depressed. I left my pharmacy program at Rutgers. For those of you who don't know, it's a pretty prestigious program. It's hard. You work a lot, and after 3 years, I just left because I needed to find answers. I needed to, not necessarily answers, I needed to find better faith because I couldn't find any conviction. I was so confused. I was so depressed. I didn't think that, I wasn't sure that, there was anything worth, standing for anymore. I wasn't sure God was worth standing for. And that brings me to the question of this skit. Considering the fact that there is judgment, is the gospel and God himself truly good? Part 1 over.